He finally figured it out, 3 months too late. Started showing up to the gym an hour early, every day, stopped making excuses, started listening to feedback, actually put in the work. His teammates noticed. "Man, you're different now." Coach noticed too. But the roster was already set, starting five locked in, sixth man role filled, rotations decided. He kept grinding anyway. Developed leadership skills just as underclassmen stepped into those spots. Became coachable right after coach invested his time in other players. Fixed his attitude after everyone stopped expecting him to. The growth was real. The timing wasn't. Coach pulled him aside after practice. "I see what you're doing. I respect it. But decisions were made based on who you were, not who you're becoming. And those players earned their spots when it mattered." He nodded. Finally understood. Personal growth doesn't erase the months you wasted. It doesn't move you ahead of players who were ready when you weren't. Sometimes change comes too late to change your situation. But it's never too late to change who you are. The game teaches hard lessons. This one hurt the most. Growth without opportunity, improvement without reward, becoming the player he should have been all along, just after the doors closed. He was 3 weeks away from everything changing, but he didn't know that. All he felt was the same struggle he'd been fighting for months, missing shots in practice, getting pulled from scrimmages, watching other guys get the looks he wanted. So he made a decision. Stopped staying after practice, stopped asking questions, stopped believing it would get better. In his mind, he was protecting himself from more disappointment, but his coach saw something different. Saw the footwork getting cleaner, the reads happening faster, the confidence starting to build. His teammates noticed too, how he was finding the right spots, making the right passes, playing with more control, but he couldn't feel any of it. All he felt was tired. Tired of trying, tired of waiting, tired of believing. So he checked out, started going through the motions, stopped pushing, stopped caring, right when everything was about to click, right when the work was about to pay off, right when breakthrough was disguised as more of the same struggle. He quit 3 weeks before his moment arrived, and someone else got it instead. Takeaway: progress doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes it feels like more of the same fight. But the difference between breakthrough and giving up is often just showing up for 3 more weeks. He showed up to every game, sat in the same spot, clapped at the right times, stayed after to talk about footwork, shot selection, things like that. His son noticed. Didn't say much, but he noticed. For a while it felt like something. A father learning his son's world, trying to find a way in. But slowly the son started to see it clearly. Every conversation came back to the game. What he did wrong, what he could improve, how to read a defense. Never once did his father ask how he was doing. Not really. Not the way that question is supposed to land. The basketball was a door his father kept opening, but it never led anywhere deeper. Just more basketball. And the son understood something that took him a long time to put into words. His father had learned how to show up for the game. He just never learned how to show up for him. Some people use the game to get close, and some use it to avoid getting close at all. Those two things can look exactly the same from the outside. She never knew what a screen was, never understood the shot clock, never knew why the ref blew the whistle. But she was there, every single game, same seat, same purse in her lap, same eyes locked on number 4. He used to get frustrated by it when he was young. His grandmother cheering at the wrong moments, clapping when the other team scored, not understanding what she was watching. He thought she wasn't really paying attention. He had it backwards. She wasn't there to watch basketball. She was there to watch him. There's a difference. It took him until he was 17 to understand that. She got sick that winter, missed the first 3 games of the season, and the gym felt different in a way he couldn't explain. Not louder, not quieter, just emptier. He realized then that her presence had never been about the game. It was about him knowing someone chose to show up every time. Not because she understood it, because she loved him. Some people don't need to know the rules to show you what matters. He made it out. That was the story. That was what the block believed in. He told people he was going. Let them watch. Let them invest. Let their belief become something he could run on. And he ran. For years. But the destination never came the way anyone announced it. And eventually, he had to go back. Same block. Same faces. Same people who remembered every word he said before he left. That part nobody talks about. Not the failure itself. The return. walking past the same corners where people used to say your name like it meant something was coming, having to figure out how to exist in a place where everyone still sees the version of you that never arrived. He spent so long moving that he never stopped to ask one honest question. Was this dream his, or did he just borrow it from everyone watching? Because there is a difference between chasing what you want and performing what other people need you to want. One fills you, the other just keeps you moving. He was first in the gym every single morning, last to leave every night, never missed a voluntary session, not one. You could set a clock by his work ethic. But something strange kept happening when the game started. The guy who looked unstoppable in practice would disappear the moment the score mattered. Hesitation where there used to be instinct, safe decisions, vanishing. Like everything he built in that empty gym stayed there when he walked out. His coach watched it long enough to finally say something. Not in a team meeting, just the two of them, quiet. "You love the work," he said. "But do you trust yourself when it's real?" That question hit different because the gym is controlled. You can reset, run it again. Nobody loses anything. A real game takes something the gym never asks for. It asks you to compete when the outcome is uncertain. And those are two different things. Work ethic builds the foundation. Competitive instinct is what you build it for. One without the other just leaves you well prepared to watch. He dominated every gym he ever walked into, and he knew it. Not arrogant about it, just certain. That certainty followed him everywhere. Practice, local tournaments, regional showcases. He was always the guy. Then came the camp. High level, real prospects. The kind of weekend where everybody there had been the guy somewhere. And something happened. He froze. Not nervous, not scared. Just quiet in a way nobody expected. He watched instead of played. Hesitated where he used to be automatic. Let moments pass that he would have attacked without thinking back home. The coaches noticed. His people noticed. He noticed. But nothing changed over the weekend. On the ride home, his dad asked what happened. He sat with it for a long time before answering. "I didn't know what to do when they were just as good as me." That was the truth arriving. His confidence had always lived in the gap between him and everyone else. When the gap closed, there was nothing left underneath it. That's not a talent problem. That's a foundation problem. And the game will always find it. He got cut. That's what happened. Coach made the decision. Roster was set. His name wasn't on it. Simple, clean, final. But that's not the version he told. By the next week, he was saying he stepped away. Wasn't feeling the program. Had other things going on. Didn't like how the coach ran things anyway. And he told it so many times it started to sound true. Even to him. The problem wasn't the lie itself. The problem was everything it cost him to keep it going. He couldn't ask for feedback. That would break the story. Couldn't go back and work on what got him cut. Too much to admit. So he just carried it. And the guys who were there, the ones who saw the list, who watched him walk off that day, they never said a word. They didn't have to. Some truths don't need to be spoken out loud to be felt. He knew they knew. And that's the loneliest part. Protecting a version of yourself that the people around you stopped believing a long time ago. He told him exactly what needed to change. Not once, 3 times, maybe 4. Different conversations, same message. Work on your handle before you worry about your range. Stop performing for the sideline. Learn to play without the ball. He had been around long enough to know. Former player. Coached in the neighborhood for years. Seen 100 kids come through with the same habits. But the kid had newer voices in his ear by then. People telling him he was already ready. That the old way of thinking didn't apply anymore. That exposure was the shortcut, so that's what he chased. And the man who had given him a real map just watched from a distance. Not angry, just quiet, because he already knew how it ends when someone chooses comfort over correction. 2 years later, the kid was sitting out of a program he should have been leading. Handles still shaky. No role, no trust built. The truth had been right there the whole time. He just needed it to hurt first before he could hear it. Rejected truth doesn't disappear. It waits. She never missed a game. Not one. 4 years of early mornings, long drives, tournament fees she put on a card she was still paying off. She did it because she believed in him, but belief has a bottom, and somewhere around his junior year, she hit it. Not in a fight, not with a conversation. She just stopped. stopped asking about practice, stopped pushing for camps, stopped rearranging her life around a schedule that was draining what little she had left. He noticed but didn't say anything. And what he didn't know was that a coach had just started watching him, a real one, the kind that changes things. But the visits never got organized. The calls never got returned. The moment passed, two people running out of time at the exact same moment, just in opposite directions. She wasn't wrong for stopping. He wasn't wrong for needing more. But the game never asked if either of them could afford it. It just kept moving, and they got left behind together.